Hello everyone! In this video, we're gonna talking about narratology. But first, let me introduce our group members. First is Rati Manjari Natia Antini. The second is Ayu Trisnawati Wiranata. The third is Nurul Safitri. The fourth is Nofrido. So, let's get started!
The definition of narratology. Narratology is etymologically the science of narrative. The term was popularized, however, by such structuralists as Gerard Genette, Mikey Ball, Gerard Prince, and others in 1970s. As a result, the definition of narratology has usually been restricted to structural, or more specifically, structuralist analysis of narrative. The post-structuralist reaction of the 1980s and 1990s against the scientific and taxonomic pretensions of structuralist narratology has resulted in a comparative neglect of the early structuralist approaches. One positive effect of this, however, has been open up new lines of development for narratology in gender studies, psychoanalysis, reader response criticism, and ideological critique. Narratology now appears to be reverting to its etymological sense, a multidisciplinary study of narrative which negotiates and incorporates the insight of many other critical discourses that involve narrative forms of representation. Consequently, while our selection of text in these readers gives ample representation to the original structuralist core of the discipline, it also includes samples of approaches which are narratological in the wider of, if not in the strict formalist sense of the term.
So next is I'm going to explain about narratology experts. Narratology itself is inspired by the modern linguistic and it is developed by the formalist critics, including Russian formalist, student of stylistic, new criticism, and structuralists. And here I'm going to talk about the two experts in narratology. The first is Gerard Genette. Genette is the first one to come up with the narratology terms, and in his book Narrative Discourse, an essay in method, in Genette books, he used the term of récit from French, or it means narrative in English. Narratology itself is a theory but also a structural analysis of text. For narratology, it is provide the term that is needed when we wanted to describe the technique in literary work and arrange it systematically. For Genette, narrative cannot imitate reality, no matter how realistic it is. It is intended to be fictional act of language arising from a narrative instinct. There are 5 main points in Genette's narratology theory, which are order, duration, frequency, mood, and voice. Order is the relation between sequencings of events in a story and their arrangement in a narrative. And duration is the separation between event and its narration. Frequency is how much time in the event occurs in a story. For example, a person's whole story can be narrated just in one sentence in narration. Mood is depend on the distance and perspective of narrator and author, and the voice is who narrated the story and where it comes from. The next is Todorov. Todorov narratology is about how the narration in a story is created. Todorov has 5 stages that the character will go through, which are equilibrium, disruption, recognition, repair the damage, and equilibrium again. Equilibrium is the normal life of the character, and the disruption is where the problem started to appear in a character normal life. Recognition is where the problem is started to disturb the character normal life. Repair the damage is where the character tried to fix the problem, and the equilibrium again is where the character managed to solve the problem and get to her or his normal life again. So total of five stages is kind of repetition from equilibrium to equilibrium again. Total of 5 stages, if we wanted to include it in Genet's narratology theory, it would be in order, because it is talk about the sequence of event in the story. And then honestly there are more experts in narratology, but here I'm only discuss about 2 experts, which is Genet and Todorov, and I guess that's all for me. Thank you.
So I'm gonna tell you a little synopsis of Spilled Film. Kevin Wondelcrom, a man with 23 different personalities, abducts and keeps 3 teenage girls in his basement for unknown reason. As Kevin's therapist delves deeper into his mysterious disorder, the girls must find ways to escape before new and sinister 24th personality reveals itself. According to Tzvetan Todorov, 1960, there are 5 stages that a character should go through in a story. The stages of narrative structure are A. Equilibrium, B. Disruption, C. Recognition, D. Repair the damage, and E. Equilibrium again. But in the journal, the writer only gets 3 stages. First stage is equilibrium. This is a stage where the character is having a normal life and doing the daily activities that a character has. The condition where the main character having a normal life and is still able to do the daily activities that the character usually does. So in a story tells on a special birthday, a teenage girl does not focus on enjoying it. The girl who having a birthday seems to complain about her introverted friends to her father. She actually did not want to invite the girl, but his father wanted him to invite all his classmates. And second stage is disruption. This is a stage where the character started to get disturbance in life. So 3 girls who had celebrated a birthday at the mall came home in a car driving by her Claire's father. But they quickly realized that the man behind the wheel was not Claire's father. It's Kevin, who did not waste time dropping them and dragging them back to their temporary nest underground. So this is a stage where the character gets troubles into their life. So after that is recognition. This is a stage where the character has realized the problem of disturbance that affects the character's life. One by one they begin to realize and fear. They wonder where they are. The room they occupy is quite spacious and with clean bathroom. Repeated visits from Kevin with his varying voice and persona gradually make it clear that their kidnapper harbors multiple personalities. Only Casey, who emerged as the trio's clever leader, has the audacity to engage with him.
The conclusion is narratology, which is the study of the form, structures, media, functions, and evolution of narrative, with a special emphasis on story, or common called as narrative structure. The main experts in narratology are Gerard Gannett and Jefferson Todorov. We took the journal title is Narrative Structure of the Minds of Billy Milligan novel and split film, and the researcher found 3 of narrative structure based on Todorov perspective. Thank you.